like and subscribe. To the people who record themselves crying and then post it to a social media, why? I'm just waiting for someone to answer that the question was actually towards. I guess since everybody else is just going to reply with anecdotes and talk about how much better they are than that, I'll bite. I did that once. Why? Like a lot of people suggested, attention. I was 14, I was alone, I was hurting. I wanted someone to tell me I would be okay, and I was not getting that eye roll. So I went online and recorded myself crying and trying to talk about what was upsetting me. I got a lot of assholes responding because people seemed so excited to tear down a sad little girl. But I did get kind responses too, and when I felt better I thanked the people who were kind and deleted the video. Sometimes people just need a few nice words, and I don't think they're bad for that. Well, I only did it once, because I used to have a YouTube channel, where I would post videos of my first HEL, but one day she passed away, and I was just telling the people who would watch my videos why I would not be posting, and then I broke down and started crying. Most people don't make a big spectacle of themselves crying in public, unless they're looking for attention. And *ALL* of social media is looking for attention, so that goes 1000 times more there. Obviously there are going to be times when something horrible happens in public which makes you cry on the spot, and of course that's fine. But if you go out of your way to make a scene, out of proportion to the drama, it's a ploy for attention. I personally don't do it, but a former friend explained to me why. Yes, it is an attention thing. But at least for her, it wasn't in a douchy kind of way. She didn't have the nicest upbringing, and was shamed for trying to seek help from her family when it came to emotional hardships. It was a real toughen up kind of household, which made her wary about seeking out help. Instead, she let the help seek her out by drawing attention to her bad emotional state without actually having to tell somebody, hey, I feel horrible, I need someone to talk to, and be there for me. It's actually really sad, and I hate to admit that this is part of the reason she is a former friend. While I felt for her, this behavior took the control away from me. I couldn't tell her that I feel bad myself, and she's crossing a boundary by dumping her emotions on me, since she didn't specifically target me. Sometimes I feel bad for that, but in the end I gotta take care of myself too. Edit, spelling. When you're feeling down and out, full of worry, full of doubt, when you're filled with deep despairs, when you're sad and no one cares, when you're bleak and broken, blue, I shall tell you what to do. Listen closely. Don't forget. Put it on the internet. My cousin did this. He was going through depression and had underlying mental issues he never properly addressed as a child. It was not for attention, it was his way of screaming for help. Eater, this was truly years ago, and I'm good and quite stable now. Our baby, now 6, ended up having a tongue tie that we got revised, and it made a huge difference. Someone reported this for fear of self-harm, I guess, so I wanted to clarify. Years ago I posted a raw photo of myself crying to Instagram. I was 2 months postpartum, having a horrible time breastfeeding, and wanted to show other mothers that they were not alone in the raw struggle of motherhood. That every moment is not scripted, and that it is okay to be real on social media, even when the world seems to value a fake facade. Even if people are looking for attention, does not mean they are not doing it for a reason. My parents beat and neglected me. I was their adopted slave to work their farm and collect the check the state. I was screaming for attention in all sorts of abnormal ways, crying to social media always felt like a last-ditched effort to find someone who actually cares about me for once. Never worked, and I learned from it. Some people are growing, and I apologize for my ignorance. Cause fear weirdos who crave attention, I assume. Leave Britney alone. It's disturbing how many people in this thread think saying somebody is desperate for attention is an indictment of their character, rather than something warranting sympathy. I have done this in the past. It was because I was really sad and alone, and wanted someone to comfort me. I did not have anyone I could personally reach out to. People are like, "Oh, we would record yourself crying and post it. Fatter so attention seeking go." But then when someone commits suicide it turns out we didn't know that they tell anyone they were struggling. They had parents that coddled them, and only gave them attention when they cried, so now they do it as adults. Coddled means to pamper, or treat tenderly in an overprotective way, which sounds like the opposite of only getting attention when crying. Since nobody seems to be actually answering the question, I guess I will. I'm mentally ill, and wanted someone to ask me if I was okay/what was going on. People always say that if you're struggling you should talk to somebody, but it's very hard to actually start that conversation. Yes, I wanted attention. I wanted support. I wanted someone to reach out and show me that they cared. A lot of you seem to think that makes me a horrible person, but maybe try and look at things from a different perspective. Yes, I've done before to seek attention, but that doesn't make me not ill, nor a bad person. If somebody is so desperate for attention, then perhaps they actually need it. Disclaimer, I know that this isn't healthy behavior and I don't do it anymore, but as a younger teenager I did, so I thought I would offer the perspective that Op actually asked for, rather than just saying, because they are attention-seeking idiots with no life. I literally had to unfriend someone over this. Her friend died, and she posted a TikTok of her crying overlaid with pics of the man music. I don't even feel bad for people when they do this. Fear trying to gain followers and views over Sumiana's death. Same with people who take pics with someone on their deathbed and post them to FB. I will come out of a coma and kill someone if they try to take a pic with me while I am trying to peacefully die. Fear trying to gain followers and views over Sumiana's death. I don't think this is necessarily true. I know people who have internalized social media so much that it's almost natural for them to post their entire life online. They're not using that specific post to gain likes and followers. They're just using the app they always use, and they use it for every emotion. It's like a public diary for them. Most of the comments here are taking the negative view that people who do this are looking for attention or even need/crave attention. And that some of those people are trying to spin it into profit. While that may be true for many, or even most people, I think something is being missed here. Documentation. The proliferation of phones and recording devices has made it easier to document everything. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to do that, even if it is traumatic, grief, etc. Not only is there nothing inherently wrong or self-promoting about documenting, there are many positives to it, including helping those facing similar trials and taboo circumstances. One that comes to mind is miscarriages. It is something that typically hasn't been talked about openly. Parents often have to keep that in, and face mental health and emotional issues alone. It can also be educational to document authentic emotional experiences. I'd be willing to bet there are other positive reasons for doing it. If I filmed and produced a documentary on grief, and filmed myself, and others experiencing it, I don't think this sub would be full of the comments this thread has. Even if I profited from it, I know it is good for my head to make a practice out of considering positive and outlying issues instead of knee-jerk reacting to something and jumping to conclusions about Piapa's character. People want to be seen and understood. I saw a TikTok of a woman crying because the babysitter had given her baby Benadryl and the child died, but all I could think about was why would you set up a camera during that phone call? I don't understand it either. Her friend secretly filmed that, she didn't know it was being filmed. The video was also a few months old, I think, but it is important to document important things like that for evidence and such. Posting to social media can inform others about such incidences. Dunno, I was crying over a movie, so I put a picture on my Instagram story, and said that the movie I was crying over was so I'm sad but worth the watch. I cry over a lot of things. 1. Post the crying video. 2. 3. Profit. I wanted people to ask me if I was okay, and I wanted people to know I was hurting. Getting attention. Because they are sad and want support. They are attention-seeking douche canoes. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been annoyed at someone crying in my adult life for the most part. Sometimes you get overwhelmed. Sometimes I feel like crying when I'm extremely frustrated about something lol. To do it for a selfie or YouTube video seems so manipulative. Like you want people to feel as bad for you as possible. Double trashy points when it's only when you're in trouble. Like a vlogger crying for 20 minutes during an apology video. You just know that they had like several takes to make it look authentic. They need the attention and the likes. Sometimes people need more attention than what they are getting, and that's easier online than in real life. The internet is like a layer of protection. Who can hurt you without being near you? Nobody around them cares about them being sad, and they are so desperate to find somebody to care about them, they have to reach out to a larger audience in hopes there is somebody out there. I've never posted a crying video before, but people on this thread seem to be demonizing this action. I don't think it's usually a ploy to get likes and attention, sometimes it is. I honestly believe it's a natural reaction to gain empathy from one's peers when they are in desperate need for consolation. It's a cry for help, not some evil plan to gain internet points. I am like extra pretty when I cry, so I have my private Instagram which has like 20 people who are my dearest childhood friends. Majority of us are depressed as. So we kind of post a picture on our story for humor, where we end up half joking about how we all wanna die. IDK it is like our little circle where we don't need to be okay. I definitely don't do it on my Instagram, which has more friends, acquaintances, and family on it. To each their own though. People cope differently. Let us not be judgmental. Leave Britney alone. I'm related to someone who does this. Basically they want sympathy and don't have people close by who can give it to them. There are plenty of people online who will tell you it's going to be okay. I don't post anything on social media really, so this doesn't apply to me. In fact, I didn't know posting yourself crying was a thing until this post. However, the other day I was listening to music on YouTube made by someone in her room, and one song started with her crying, while some text explained how lonely and depressed she was when writing the song. It stopped me in my tracks. People crying make me very uncomfortable. Maybe it's because I'd get the "I'll give you a reason to cry" followed by a smack to the face for crying when I was a kid. Maybe it's because men aren't supposed to cry. I'm sure there are a lot of reasons why crying makes me so uncomfortable. So back to the question. I've never seen someone cry on my social feeds, but I hope it wouldn't make me as angry as all the commenters here seem to get. I hope it'd make me stop in my tracks again and feel empathy for the person. Just take a moment to realize how hard life can be. Have you ever watched the Pixar movie Inside Out? Remember, the point of the sadness character was to alert people in the girl's life that she needed support or comforting. Maybe these crying videos are just a modern take on someone reaching out for support or comforting. Also, if it's okay to post videos of yourself laughing or smiling, shouldn't it be the same for crying? Crying isn't a bad thing, so why is everyone acting like it is? I imagine in a healthier society people could express a fuller range of emotions without any stigma.